Hey everyone, Donut Boy here. So we finally got the info for what the Twins rework is going to look like when it goes to live because, well, as we all know, that rework was really bad and it made Twins into probably one of the strongest killers ever released. So, well, let's see what Behavior did to fix them. Let's take a gander at what they did to fix this monumental rework that's been in development for 2 whole years. 2 years of brainstorming. The think tank's been going off. 2 years, and what do they have to show for it? Nothing. They removed everything. Now, look, I always try and be positive when I make my videos, right? Well, I say bad things about it, but I always try and give constructive criticism. But this is just an embarrassment. This is an insult to the community. The Twins mains have been waiting 2 whole years for a rework to make their killer actually playable and decent and fun, and they've just been promised, oh, Twins are coming, oh, it's not coming, we're delaying it a little bit, it's coming next year, but it's definitely happening. And then we get it, and it is the biggest flop, the worst thing that they have put out. And then everyone's like, oh, okay, well, you know, it's really overpowered, this shouldn't go live. I mean, everyone in their right mind with a prefrontal cortex thought about it for 5 seconds and realized, you know, maybe this rework isn't actually so good. So Behavior's like, what should we do now that, you know, everyone hates it and thinks that this shouldn't go live? Should we try and tweak anything? No, we're just gonna completely remove everything about the rework. Here's your major update. Like, it's one thing to admit that, you know, maybe you went a little overboard with the Twins rework, which they did, but it's like, you spent 2 years, 2 fucking years reworking this killer, and what do you have to show for it? Nothing. It would have been better off if they just never said in the first place that they were going to rework Twins, because all that it comes down to now is some number buffs, right? Because they buffed a few of the base stats, you know, you release Victor faster, you recall to Charlotte faster, and you attack faster. That's it. But that's not a rework. That's not a major update. That is some number buffs. That's it. A major rework or major update is something like Skull Merchant. It's like Doctor. It's like Trickster or Clown. Well, maybe not Trickster, but that's something. With the other 3, though, the entire kit changed, right? Because Doctor used to have 2 stances, Clown used to have 1 bottle, the drones for Skull Merchant used to stay in place, but the rework for Twins, nothing changed now. This isn't a major update. This is some minor buffs. These are minor buffs that have been asked for since like the first week of Twins releasing, because she's always felt slow. They've always felt incredibly slow and clunky to play, and they come out with one of the best, in my opinion, the best change out of the entire rework was making it so that you get haste to go pick up a survivor faster. Because every time you play Twins, if you play Twins, even I don't blame you if you don't, but every time you play Twins and you go to pick up the survivor, the most annoying part of that was actually going to pick up the survivor, right? Because using Victor was fun, it was all right, you know, aside from dealing with the janky hitboxes that this killer had, and, you know, dying because, you know, you bounced off a fucking random rock. But the worst part was, you know, you down them and then you have to spend like 15 seconds running cross map to go get them. But then you're like, okay, here, have haste to make one of the most boring, unfun parts of her kit actually, you know, palatable. And it's like, okay, great, you know, I like that. Nope, rework is gone now. We're reverting it. It's gone. You don't get to enjoy that anymore. What was the actual point of all of it then if it's just going to be removed? Because I don't think for even a second someone on the entirety of the company, not a single fucking person, play tested it. You cannot look me in the eyes and tell me with a straight face that you're being dead serious that someone play tested it. Because within 10 seconds, one singular match is all it took to realize that this killer, this rework, was the biggest abomination that Behavior has ever released. I mean, you win chases in at minimum 20 seconds and at max 30 seconds, because Victor moved so fast there was nothing you could do against him, and then it was the chase is over, right? Because you couldn't kick him, you couldn't deal with him, you were just done. It was bam, snap your fingers, you're out. But it's like, it was so overpowered that there wasn't really much you could do with it, right? You could maybe make Victor move slower, you could maybe make the cooldown on hit longer, there was maybe something you could do, but to straight up just remove everything, 2 years of progress down the drain with nothing to show for it. That is just an insult to the community. That is an embarrassment. I like, there's nothing I can even say to warrant it, right? Like, maybe if they said, oh, well, we're gonna push back the rework further, you know, to give it more time to cook, because obviously we didn't playtest our own rework, because if we did, we'd realize how stupid this was. And it's like, how has it been 2 years, and out of everything that the think tank came up with, even the community came up with, this is the final result that we got? I genuinely want to be a fly on the wall to see what else they came up with, because if this is the only foreseeable path that they saw. This is the only rework that someone came up with and they saw was the only one that they could go with. I want to know how bad the other ones were, or maybe they were actually good and Behavior just said, okay, let's go with this one. Like, I don't get it. 2 years of content down the drain with nothing to show for it. I know I keep saying that, but they delayed it, they pushed it back, they kept promising it, and we get the rework and it's dog shit. Right? I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It was really bad. It was really bad and unplayable to go against. And it's, you know, it's okay because it's the PTB. There's time to iron things out. Well, I say time to, but every time they do a PTB, the update comes out in 2 or 3 weeks. So there's no time really, which is, I'm gonna do a video about how bad the PTBs are, because nothing ever, but that's something else entirely. And if you couldn't tell, this video isn't scripted at all. But like for years, like I enjoy Twins, right? I'm not gonna lie, I've been a Twins enjoyer. I don't play them a lot really, but I still enjoy playing as them. But I mean, 2 years of being like, okay, there's so many avenues we go with. I thought they were gonna do something related to Chucky, right? Because, you know, the Chucky and Victor, they're both tiny, you know. I thought it was gonna be something related to that, like maybe you stand switch into Victor and that's who you play as for a while and you get, you know, a different play style, but you're not as good in chase, but you have the speed. So something, I don't know. I don't know, man, but 2 years of reworking for this, and it's not even like the rework was anything impressive really. Like, at least with Clown, that's an entirely new bottle, right? That's something. It's nothing really amazing. But for the Twins rework, they just made it so you don't, you know, latch onto them when you hit them, but you latch onto them when they're down. That was something that they could have done in like a week. That's something that could have taken at like most 3 weeks to do. And this is I'm not one for conspiracy theories, right? I don't really like to feed into the whole, oh, Behavior is this evil monster that does nothing. But like, this rework compared to every other rework we've gotten in the entirety of Dead by Daylight's history feels the most lackluster, right? With Freddy, his entire kit change. With Doctor, his entire kit change. With Clown, the entire kit change. You know, he got an entire new power. You know, he's the only killer that can switch between 2 different powers. Skull Merchant, her drones entirely changed. But with Twins, nothing really changed. You still used Victor in the exact same way, except it was stronger now. Instead of, you know, going for slugs, you know, getting everyone injured, then bam, 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 hit all 4 of them with Victor. Now it's just, you can murk 1 survivor as soon as you see them. Right, that's nothing really amazing. So I don't really feel like this was actually a rework that's been in development for 2 years. I feel like they were just tired of having everyone get on their ass about how, oh, Twins rework never, when's the Twins rework coming? And they're just finally like, okay, you know, they just said to their coders or whatever, just, oh, throw something together in like a month. You know, you got a month before the mid chapter goes live, go finish something. And then that's what came out, because there's no thought or reason behind this rework. It was always bad, but a tiny bit of me had hope, you know, that Twins was going to be an actual fun killer to play. The haste part I like, being able to do all the stuff faster, you know, recalling and pouncing faster, that was all fun. But like, the entirety of the rework, the entire, you know, kit change, horrible. It was really bad. So I just don't get it. This is such an embarrassment and a straight up insult that we wait 2 years for this, for them to say, here's your major update. Nothing. We're reverting everything, and we might look into this further, right? They're not even saying we're pushing back the kit so that we can give it more time to be fine-tuned and actually playable. No, they just said we might look into Twins again. They did nothing. They did nothing. I know I'm rambling a lot because there's no script. I just read the patch notes like right now, and I'm seeing the travesty that is this mid chapter and how it's, I'm just gonna say this is the worst mid chapter in the entirety of Dead by Daylight's history. There's nothing I'm looking forward to. They reworked Decisive Strike too. They reworked Decisive Strike and removed the animation. So what was the point? Well, they say rework, but you know, they just added the animation. They increased the time by 2 seconds, but they add the animation and then just remove it. And I mean, it was pretty stupid to think Decisive Strike was ever going to get an animation, because there's so many different ways for the killers to hold the characters, right? Like Xenomorph and Alien hold people differently. I think Sadako does. I think they just kind of float. She doesn't really carry them. They float. It's like, how are you going to make an animation for that? How are they going to stab Sadako when she's making them float in the air right next to her? It was never going to work. So I'm all for the idea. I like the idea of the animation of Decisive Strike, you know, having like an actual stab. That looks cool. But it's like, it's not going to work. It was never going to work unless you go through specifically each and every killer and give them a separate and unique animation. Because once you start adding unique carrying animations, that's more animations you got to make. Then there's the ultimate weapon rework, and looking how it's going to be, it's going to be F tier. I'm just going to be real. The new ultimate weapon is going to be F tier if it's only in the radius around the locker, because that's basically what Nowhere to Hide does, but with auras. And auras are always going to be a stronger information tool than screams, because screams are just, I'm there. But auras, you can just see them. and Nowhere to Hide follows you, right? You kick a gen and you teleport as like Unknown or Sadako or something, and you have aura reading when you teleport, which makes it really strong. But Ultimate Weapon is just gonna be like, okay, I'm checking this area. It's the worst Whispers. Worst Whispers now, actually. Thinking about it now, because if it's just a 32-meter radius around you, that's what Whispers does. But with Whispers, it tells you, you know, if there is someone. And with Ultimate Weapon, if you do it and they scream and they have Calm Spirit, guess what? You don't get any value. Whispers, you can't counter. So now it's just a worse Ultimate, or Whispers is just a better Ultimate Weapon. This is just the worst mid-shafter I've ever seen. Nothing about it is good. I mean, the only good thing is like the Haddonfield rework, because that map is still, you know, really bad. But that's it. One map rework to make it, you know, decent. I don't even know if it's decent. I don't even think I played the PTB that much to actually test it. But who knows? Who knows? The whole PTB was just having a meltdown over the Twins, so who even knows if the Haddonfield map is actually good or not? I don't know what else to say other than take care of yourselves, eat a good meal, brush your teeth, have a great day. Peace.